In a small town tucked between dusty roads and fading signboards, there stood a tiny grocery shop with a rusted roof and wooden shelves. The paint on its walls had peeled away long ago, and the old weighing scale creaked every time it was used. Most people passed by without a second glance. But for Raman, that shop was not just a place of work, it was his entire world. Raman had nothing impressive about him. No university degree, no family business, no savings in the bank. He was a quiet man in his early 40s, with lines on his face carved by years of struggle. People often underestimated him because he spoke little and dressed simply. What they could not see was the fire of determination burning silently inside him. Raman's journey had not started with dreams of success. It started with survival. After his father passed away suddenly, Raman became responsible for his family overnight. The small amount of land they owned was sold to clear debts, leaving nothing behind. His relatives offered sympathy but no help. Some even advised him to move to the city and work as a laborer. Raman listened politely, but deep inside, he felt a quiet resistance. I want to build something of my own, he thought. With the little money he had left, Raman rented a tiny roadside space and bought a few basic items: rice, lentils, cooking oil, salt, and sugar. That was it. His shop opened with shelves that were half empty and a heart full of uncertainty. The first few months were painfully slow. Some days, no customers came at all. On other days, people walked in, looked around, and left without buying anything. At night, Raman would sit alone in the shop, counting coins instead of notes. Doubt crept into his mind like a shadow. Was this a mistake? Should I have gone to the city? Will this ever work? But every morning, he unlocked the shop again. Raman understood one simple truth. Success does not come from waiting, it comes from showing up, every single day. He began observing people carefully. He noticed what customers asked for and what they complained about. Some wanted fresh vegetables early in the morning. Others wanted small quantities because they couldn't afford bulk purchases. Many complained about shopkeepers who were rude or dishonest. So Raman made 3 decisions. First, he would open earlier than everyone else. Second, he would sell even the smallest quantities with honesty. Third, he would treat every customer with respect, no matter how little they bought. These decisions seemed small, almost meaningless. But over time, they started to matter. A woman who bought just 10 rupees worth of rice every day told her neighbors, "That man never cheats on weight." A rickshaw driver said, "He opens before sunrise. I can buy tea and snacks before work." A schoolboy said, "Uncle always smiles, even when I have no money." Slowly, the shop stopped being ignored. Raman reinvested every small profit back into the business. He didn't buy new clothes. He didn't spend on comfort. He spent on better quality goods and more variety. When he couldn't afford something, he waited patiently instead of taking loans he couldn't repay. There were setbacks. One year, heavy rains flooded the area and ruined half his stock. Another time, a large supermarket opened nearby with bright lights and discounts. Many shopkeepers shut down in fear. People told Raman, "Now it's over. You can't compete with big businesses." Raman didn't argue. He didn't complain. He adjusted. He focused on what the big store couldn't offer: personal connection. He remembered customers' names, their preferences, and their struggles. He allowed trusted customers to buy on credit during difficult times. He helped elderly customers carry their groceries home. The supermarket had size. Raman had trust. Years passed. The shelves that were once half empty were now full. The old weighing scale was replaced. The shop was expanded little by little. Raman hired 2 helpers from the neighborhood, giving jobs to people who once struggled like him. One evening, a young man named Arjun visited the shop. Arjun had failed in business twice and was deeply discouraged. "Uncle," he asked, "how did you succeed when you started with nothing?" Raman smiled gently and said, "I didn't succeed fast. I succeeded slowly. I focused on today's work, not tomorrow's reward." He paused, then added, "Most people quit because progress looks boring. But boring progress is still progress." Arjun listened silently, realizing something important. Raman was never lucky. He was never famous. But he was consistent. The town eventually recognized Raman not as a poor shopkeeper, but as a respected businessman. People sought his advice. Children pointed at his shop and said, That's Ramen Uncle's store. Standing in front of the same shop years later, Ramen looked around. The building was stronger. The business was stable, but the man inside was still humble. He knew the real success was not the money he earned, it was the character he built.